memory's been hazy lately. Been cutting pathways of my own. I always question if I'm lazy, or if it was good to never care at all. My sister told me to keep on reaching. Hope is the cause of my spiral. Once or twice, it's not my fault. Do it again, and what's it called? I never wanna be the one who's known a dream to never run. And I never thought that I would be poison my curiosity. And oh, I'm bit by the snake and sent to my grave. Oh, built a life this way was not by mistake. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, welcome music lovers to Musical Miles Podcast. I'm here with Arcadesarcasm.
Yes.
Introduce yourselves, please.
My name is Marvin Shook. I'm the singer for the band.
Kyle Rooks, I play guitar.
Ryan Fish, drums.
Christian Pena, play bass.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me, guys. We're here in Boise, Idaho at the Treefort Music Fest, and these guys are playing tonight at the Knitting Factory.
Yeah.
You're opening for...
Dangerous Summer and Hello Goodbye.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. As I was telling you before we got started, Dangerous Summer is one of our sons, our middle son's favorite band. So
Nice.
when they found out we were coming over, they're like, Dad, you got to go check that one out. Problem is there's 500 plus bands playing in Boise this weekend. It's been absolutely crazy for us to try and catch up with the ones we wanted to and some extras.
Sure.
Right? And so, in fact, when we first reached out to you guys, so the venue, this is very organized.
Yeah.
Right? Treefort
Absolutely.
is the most organized thing I've ever seen. They send out to you guys, to the artists, a list of potential interviews, whether it's a radio station, a podcast, whatever.
Yep.
So our name was provided to you. I think you reached out to me first.
Yep.
And then we started the communication, and then you got back to me and said, yeah, I think we're probably outside your realm of thing. And you're not. I mean, we love live music. So
Good.
that's what our podcast is about live music.
Sweet.
Now, that being said, we have featured a lot more country music than others, but we've actually interviewed a heavy metal band in Texas called Waves in April.
Cool.
And their dad is Cody Canada, and Cody was in Cross Canadian Ragweed. You know, that was a huge band in the Red Dirt era 30 years ago.
Sweet.
They were a band for like 15 years and then broke up. Then they were out of the industry for 15 years or so, and they just did a reunion called the Boys of Oklahoma, Jason Boland, and a bunch of them all. T-Boone Pickens Stadium in Oklahoma, and they sold it out 3 nights.
Wow.
Like 45,000 seats,
Man.
3 nights in a row.
That's awesome.
So that tells you the kind of impact.
Yeah.
So anyway, Cody's kids, and we've interviewed Cody on our podcast and his kids. And then they opened for him at Green Hall. Are you guys familiar with Green Hall in Texas?
Yeah, they're in,
it's the oldest in New Braunfels.
New Braunfels, yeah.
It's the oldest honky tonk in Texas.
Okay.
150 years
dance
old.
hall, right?
It's a dance hall.
Yeah.
800 people, but we were there to see them open for Cody.
Okay.
And people are walking into Green Hall going, what in the hell has happened to Green Hall? Because this is a heavy metal screamo band.
Sure.
And so, anyway, but you guys are a local band. You're Boise based.
Yep, absolutely.
And indie rock band is what you're considered,
Sure.
right? Mm-hmm. So talk to me a little bit about your about the history of the band. How y'all got together, how long you've been together. Kind of give me a little bit of the
So
lowdown on that.
it's been about 3 years now. This summer will be 3 years. I've known these guys through different sectors of my life, but for about a decade of my life, since I was a teenager.
Okay.
Got to
teased this guy telling him I knew how to play electric guitar when I was 14, but I only knew how to play acoustic. But he was super excited. But then he put an electric in my hand for this band and changed that for me, which has been nice.
They say it's a lot easier to play an electric than acoustic.
Well, save your fingers. That's
nobody tells you. I don't play very good, but I play every day. I've never played an electric guitar.
Oh, so
one of these days I'm gonna.
Don't do it. You think?
Then I'll quit playing the acoustic.
You'll quit playing the acoustic, and you'll go $10,000 in debt.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I love guitars. I got to hang out at 12th Fret.
Oh, great guys.
And
great guys.
And we got to interview the owner.
Yep. Yes, he's awesome.
And Corey Grubb, one of the guys that works in there.
Yep.
You all know Corey?
Yeah, I know Corey.
So Corey's been on our podcast as well. So anyway, so your local band here in Boise. So you're the guitar player. You tricked him into playing the electric?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was singing, and then when we first got together, the first practice, I had an old Martin in my hand, and these guys wanted to be rock stars. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I just had the Martin, and then they were like, "No, you got to we got to put a Fender in your hands."
There you go.
The rest is history from there.
So you play a Strat now?
I play a Strat now. So actually, I got my hookup with 12th Fret.
Yeah.
They have Nash guitars in there.
Okay.
Based out of Olympia.
Okay.
Custom builder over there, and he kind of relics all these Fender style guitars, and so I play a Strat. He's using my Nash Telly, and so we're full Fender kind of lovers.
But this guy, so once he grabs onto something, so when we started our band, he didn't play electric, and we slogged through that while he learned electric. Now he's killer, so he picks up super fast. But he picked it up so fast that he's got a nice little side hustle helping other local bands set up their guitars, doing some.
So I got Marv's guitars on the side.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
So I'll do setups and just minor repairs, things like that. So
Marv's Guitars, if you're looking for
there you go. If you're looking for a luthier, right here in Boise, Idaho.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. So how'd you all? You said you've known these guys over the course of. So were you three together before? Nope.
So we started. I met him in church.
Okay.
So I met him in church in Meridian growing up, and then started playing music just through the church scene and picked up drums, different instruments, things like that. And then years and years after that, I was like, man, I really want to start playing my own music, and just didn't really know where to start, but might as well start with the three best musicians I know.
You bet.
So I stuck him into a room. Ryan has a little studio in his house, and I said, let's see what happens if we try to make a song. So we came in with a couple covers ready, and then those kind of were like, meh. And then we were like, well, let's just jam on something. And after we got the chance to jam on it, we were doing really good. So, and then wrote some songs from there.
So are everything you're performing now all original stuff?
100%.
Cool. That's cool. Well, I love the songwriting process.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He started as a drummer.
Really?
I was first a drummer. That was my first instrument I picked up. But I'm from same with you and your family, just a musical family. My dad always had an acoustic, and my mom sang in a women's singing group in Great Falls, Montana. And
oh, wow.
She's a Filipino lady, so all I sang was karaoke for the majority of my life. So it made it really easy to transition to singing live, Yeah.
Well, actually, believe it or not, there's no musical talent on my side of the family. None whatsoever. I like to play. Our kids, we've got a couple of kids that have some talent.
Okay.
But Miss Shanna's mother was a songwriter in Arizona.
Nice.
And she had could play anything by ear on the piano.
Yeah.
That didn't translate to her. So it's kind of skips a generation.
Sure.
And nobody as far back as I can find. I knew my grandpa could play the harmonica a little bit.
Cool.
That was it, But we just had a real love of live music. We had a live band at our wedding reception 44 years ago. In fact, that guy was, the son and grandson of the guys that played at our wedding was our very first interview on the podcast.
Sweet.
A kid named Heath Clark from Twin Falls. I don't know if you guys ever ran into Heath. He's now in Nashville, but anyway, I rudely interrupted you. I apologize.
I was just saying, as a drummer, it's great playing for a singer that's also a drummer.
Right.
Yeah. We just get each other.
That talk about the songwriting process. That really is like a big part of it is the rhythm, right? And just making it easy for him to catch I'll come in with a song and he pretty much instantly knows what to lay down.
Sure.
So it's
been
a really cool part of the writing process, writing for the instrument a lot of times too,
right.
Story.
Well, that's always an interesting question for me, because the songwriting process, is cool because we've interviewed a lot of songwriters,
Sure.
Probably 50 plus that have had multiple number ones on country radio.
Yeah.
And so we really love that aspect of it. We do a lot of songwriter festivals. We actually started our first songwriter rounds in Idaho Falls a month ago.
Nice.
Nobody, to my knowledge, had ever done it there.
Yeah.
So we're trying to. You guys have such a vibrant music scene
Yes.
in Boise.
Yeah.
This is so cool. Well,
So cool.
I don't know how many of the 500 bands that are playing here at Treefort are from Idaho, but a whole bunch
A lot
of
of
them.
them. Oh, yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, you can throw a stone at any one of the stages and hit somebody that we're talking to or seeing at a show every weekend.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised either, just because of what we've run into. Now, we just interviewed a band. They are part of them are from California and part of them are from Oregon, from Portland and from Santa Cruz. So they're but they stay together on the road.
Sure.
But they when they're home, they're
miles apart.
miles apart, right?
Oh.
So, are you guys doing? Is Arcade Sarcasm playing full time music for a living, or do you have to have real jobs?
No, it's actually, that's a great question because that's the whole theme of our band. Is we work corporate 9 to 5s. We've been musicians our whole entire lives, but every single one of our songs kind of is a nod to the dichotomy of being a rock star on a Saturday and then being in the office on the 8th floor on a Monday.
Okay.
And so it's a really big part of our lives is just showing, we like to show and tell people that it's possible.
Sure.
It's possible to do when you're in a full-time job. He's a interim going to be CEO at a company soon.
Cool.
He works at a prison out in Oregon.
Yeah.
He works for a marketing company. I work for a tech startup. And it's just like, our dream, obviously, as is probably everyone's here, is to do this thing full-time one day.
Sure.
But in the interim, we just want to show people it's possible to do both.
But the reality of it is, I don't know, honest to goodness, don't know a lot of musicians that have been able to just step into this role and, I mean, unless you're Nickelback,
Sure,
right?
sure.
And Eric Clapton or whoever,
Yeah.
To become a rock star, Billy Joel, those guys, they've done it and they've done it big on the big stage, right? But the average person that's in the music business that I've met, that I get to interview on this podcast, they're struggling musicians, right? They either have a real job, or they're a waiter or a waitress, or they're driving Uber, they're driving Lyft, they're doing whatever it takes to pay the bills, to make rent. Even the ones in Nashville, and we've had some incredibly successful songwriters on this podcast who are now actually back out on the road touring because that's what it takes to make a living.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The mechanicals aren't there anymore. They don't print CDs. They don't make print albums, the vinyl like they used to. It's coming back.
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah.
It's coming back. But that being said, streaming has done wonderful things for the industry, and yet it's killed it.
Right.
Financially, it's just not been good.
Yeah.
Right. So, but have you guys recorded any full albums?
No full albums
That's
yet. We
next.
did. Yeah, that's the next big thing right
Cool.
after Treefort. We'll disappear for a little bit and go into the studio. We've done 5 singles that we've released last year.
And those are available on
all streaming
platforms,
Yep.
Spotify,
Yep.
Apple Music.
cool, Apple Music, cool.
And we did that out of necessity more than out of desire. So this is our first time getting to sit down and out of the abundance of what we've been able to play and sharpen in the last 3 years to be able to put that out on the
Is
record.
this your first year to play Treefort?
It's our second year.
Second year, which is cool because you've only been a band for 3 years.
Yeah.
And you get to play this twice already.
Yeah. Yes.
There are bands that, one that we interviewed yesterday, the Dirty Turkeys.
Yeah.
Have you met them?
No, we haven't met them yet.
They were cool. They were a great interview like this, 4 guys.
Yeah.
Normally our interviews are 1 or 2
Sure.
people.
Okay.
Sometimes, and we've interviewed several full bands, but it's always a challenge, right?
Yeah.
To get 4 people recorded on
Yep.
devices that we are not really set up for 4 people. But that being said, if we get the opportunity, we love to hear the stories and how that came about. What I really want to know from each of you is what really influenced your music. Was it do you have parents that were musical? And then what was the music that you listened to that really inspired you? Said, I want to do that and I want to be a rock star.
Yeah, I think for me, so picked up guitar when I was 16 and just wanted to play. I don't know, no parents. I didn't have any family that wasn't musical. I just figured it out on my own and just kind of self-taught through it.
Sure.
but the musical influences have shifted, varying different, like,
which it will throughout your life, right?
Yeah. So like early 2000s was a huge influence. Like you look at the Killers and you look at Death Cab for Cutie, or you look at Dashboard Confessional. But recently, I gotta say, I'm tying back to country a little bit. I went to a Shane Smith and the Saints concert. And have
you ever seen a more energetic?
No. And so I was like,
performance?
Okay, that guitar player is unbelievable, because he's definitely fitting a rock guitar into a very prolific country band. They opened with the Last of the Mohicans.
Oh yeah,
soundtrack.
no, they open every show. I've seen them live at least 10 times, maybe more. From Key West, Florida. I was at that show in Sun Valley.
Okay, so that was amazing. So
Yeah.
after that, I was like, this guitar player has freaking inspired me. Just amazing.
That's
So
cool.
so yeah, all that's kind of it. Just shifts and varies. I like to, obviously what we're putting down as a band, I want to adapt my guitar playing to that, but it definitely leans on early 2000s rock influences for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, so for me, I just grew up in a very just musical home. Music always playing, but a lot more pop forward. Just always the hits. Grew up listening to a lot of Michael Jackson. And just really getting to see these guys like in action, watching them live and being like, oh, these guys are like commanding a room. I was never really an athletic kid. My sister, my brother, they were both very athletic. And so I had to find my lane somehow. And so I picked up a guitar at a really young age, learned a couple chords, went to the piano, learned a couple chords, went to the drums, figured that out, and was like, okay, if I can get this all underneath me, maybe one day I'll be a good songwriter. And it's been in so many different seasons of my life. I've been inspired by so many different things, and the producer side of things, guys like John Bellion, who's more of a pop guy who really worked in the background of a lot of the top pop hits in the 2010s and early 2020s, finally started coming out with his own music and just kind of painted this picture of just a musical landscape. And then now getting into guitar, there's a lot of country roots in me. I was born in Great Falls, Montana. My dad is from Spokane and lived in Alaska, and he's as white country boy as it gets. He was Air Force for 20 years, and so a lot of Garth Brooks in my house growing up. And then now, when I'm outside of here, listen to a lot of Billy Strings, so just show me how much of a not good guitarist I am.
What a guitar player!
He's amazing,
So
there's a ton of different motivations on the side of things. I think for me and Christian, when we think about how this band really started, the first root idea, we went to a concert here in Boise at the Neurolux, and it was just this killer indie rock band that was headlining, and the openers just, they didn't capture that moment. They just tee up. Our goal always as openers is to tee up the headliner to just be able to swing the club and launch that ball a mile and a half away. And so I told Christian, I was like, man, we could rip a stage like this. And so that was like the first token for us to be like, and then that was seeing a band called Gable Price and Friends, which is still a huge influence to me and Christian, kind of in line with Switchfoot and bands like Colony House, which are other just big pop rock, big drums, big electric guitars, like stadium rock feel.
Cool.
And my big influence is my dad. So he plays the guitar and sings. And when he was younger, he traveled with a Tejano band. Tex-Mex.
You bet.
And so that's what I grew up playing. I played like cumbia and Tejano, and always on bass, behind him.
Los Lobos and the Mavericks. You remember the Mavericks? Yeah. Some great, a little Tex-Mex.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I grew up playing. But I think just hearing rock and just hearing the bass on that,
those big power chords,
just I don't know, it caught my ear, and that's all I wanted to do is just be a rock star. And so when we had an opportunity, to play the music that I felt called to play, it was just a big blessing. And another great influence is Switchfoot, and their sound has also inspired the bands we listen to now. So it just keeps passing on. And
it's interesting because two of you at least came back to that country thing, right? The influences that country's had a huge, and a lot of that goes back to guys like Johnny Cash, and Merle Haggard, and Buck Owens. That Bakersfield sound. That has some real impact
Yep.
on the music scene. So,
Yep.
how about you?
So it's similar to Christian. My dad is a pianist. He sings, and he played in bands when he was younger. And he would sit me down as a little kid, like an infant, and put me on the piano stool, and he played the piano like Stevie Wonder and stuff. And he said I would just bob right on the beat. And he's like, "Oh, you're gonna be a drummer." And he just always told me that, so I became a drummer. And the moment for me was my elementary school. I was in 4th or 5th grade, and then a talent show.
Oh yeah.
So my dad got a bunch of his buddies together to put a band together, and he entered us to play in it. And we played that band Yes, Owner of a Lonely Heart,
Oh yeah.
and I was terrified. I could just play it just a beat. That's all I could do, and the whole band just played around me, and that was the moment. I'm like, "Yep, this is what I want to do." Everybody just went nuts.
That's crazy. And you were how old?
Like what, 10, 11?
10. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's cool that you knew that then, that you really wanted, that's something you really wanted to do,
Yes.
right? So, well, I think that's great, and it's really cool to figure out how you guys finally found your sound and what you were looking for, and that you got together and
Yep.
were able to create something together that's really made sense to you.
Yep.
So, what was there any defining moment that you really knew that this was gonna work?
Yeah, there's two that come to mind for me. The first is the first time we got together. We kind of came into mind like, let's send over a kind of little playlist of songs that influence us. Let's learn those songs and see if we can kind of jive to those.
Sure.
And then it kind of came and it went. And then we just started, as Kyle was helping me pick up an electric guitar, he was showing me different tunings, and we started playing on this weird tuning, and I just started playing this kind of single chord and just walking up the key, and then it was kind of fast for us to pick up this song, and we wrote our first song the first time that we sat down together. And after that was defining for us to be like, okay, I think we actually can do something. We can do something to the lines of, we can write our own originals, we don't have
Sure.
to play a bunch of covers. And that was the first moment, and then we write these songs, and then it's you write these songs, you get it on paper, and then you're like, oh yeah, we have to play it live.
Now you got to get somebody to listen to us, right?
yeah.
And become fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was the second defining moment. We opened up for a band called Vision Video at the time. It was in June of 2024, and we didn't know much. We've been to a couple concerts down here, and we knew there was a thriving music scene, and we got the opportunity to open for this band, and it was this goth crowd, like The Cure, and they're just, this room's packed full of these kids, teenagers, a little older, and we just get up on that stage. The moment we play the first chord, the crowd just roars. We finished the first song, and
That was my moment.
and it was the
That's
moment.
a defining moment.
It was the moment that we realized, we have meat on the
you
bone
have
here,
something.
and
Yeah.
and what we thought we had, these people also agree we have. So it was awesome.
Well, we say there's 4 components to the perfect musical equation, in my opinion.
Yep.
The song,
Sure.
the artist, the venue,
Yep.
and the fan.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
That's awesome.
I like that.
No,
So
yeah.
without one of those, you
Yeah.
don't have the whole equation,
Nope.
right? So
Oh, and it's fun too. So again, we played for kind of a crowd outside of our genre a little bit on
Sure.
that first one, but that crowd loved it.
it.
So
Yeah.
it's like, so since then we're like, we haven't fit with every single group genre wise, but we always try to bring. I mean, it's all so universal, right? Everyone
Sure.
wants exactly what you're
Sure,
saying. Everyone wants
sure.
an experience.
well, and we have, and we say this, we mention this on almost every episode of our podcast. We have a very eclectic taste in music ourselves. So we love everything from Metallica to John Prine to Townes Van Zandt and to Guy Clark, Lyle Lovett, and Andrea Bocelli. I mean, and so we have really eclectic taste in music. But our real true love is live music.
Yep.
Yes.
Man.
And we
So
tell
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your feeling in the age we're in right now, with AI and all this stuff?
It's an interesting question. I did an interview with a guy by the name of Bryce Long. He's been on our podcast twice. That question got asked at a live. We hosted a deal called Coffee and Conversation during the Whitefish Songwriter Festival at Slow Burn Records in Whitefish. And one of the crowd members asked that question, and Bryce's response was, it's already here. It's impacted the music business in some real negative ways. That being said, he said his personal opinion is, number one, and I agree with him wholeheartedly on this, AI will never be able to do what you just did.
No.
That's right. Live. That's right. I think live is going to become more important to humanity.
Oh, it's an experience that
Yeah. How do you describe
You can't
it?
get it on a screen. You can't. Yeah. It's,
no replacement.
No, there's no
Right.
replacement.
No
So, and he said, and Bryce's second part of that question was this: look, and I'm the same way. I was born and raised on a farm in southeast Idaho. A farm boy always wanted to be a cowboy, right? But my dad taught me to do a fair day's work for a fair day's pay, right? So I don't want to get paid for something I'm not doing.
Sure.
Yes.
You know, this, believe it or not, doing a podcast is not easy work, right?
I
There's
know,
a
I've
lot.
got
There's
that.
a lot of moving parts and
Yeah.
pieces, and you're looking at the whole
Sure.
crew, right?
Yeah.
We do the recording, the set up the interviews. We do the editing. We do the promotion,
Hosting, the marketing,
the whole deal.
Yeah.
And it's a thankless job most days, just like being a musician is.
Sure.
But we do it for the music.
Yeah.
I love that.
So we got an opportunity. This is really cool. So obviously, in the age of digital and people recording in their bedrooms and putting albums, and there's a place for that. I'm not knocking that. And
Sure.
But we got an opportunity on our recordings that are out there right now to record on an original Neve board.
Analog board.
It's an
Analog
soundboard.
In fact, funny story. It's the same board that Motley Crue recorded "Girls, Girls, Girls" on.
Oh, you're kidding!
Yeah.
And so it's fully that. Then it was kind of a friend's kind of private collection of this board and the amps, and then they had old 1960s
50s,
Vox
60s,
amps that are hand wired
Fender
from
amps.
Britain.
Oh,
He
wow.
recorded on
Fender amp.
1930
Fender amp.
Fender amp that just had the
just
one
one
knob.
knob on it.
And so it's just kind of
overdrive.
it's just kind of a cool experience to
but
strip back the digital and go straight into
You know, funny you say that. So we just did interviews in Logan, Utah,
Nice.
at the Cache Valley Cowboy Rendezvous, right? And we interviewed a guy who actually puts that deal on, and he say, "Cool, sorry."
You're good.
He wrote a song. He said this kids gave their dad a digital camera for Christmas, and he was pissed because he was like, "I can't figure this shit out." Right?
Yeah.
He goes, "This is the guy that's got balun twine hanging from his mirror."
Yep.
But anyway, the title of the song is he's a cowboy. He's an analog cowboy in a digital world.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought,
Yep.
how crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's so special.
Yeah.
It is. It's so special. And me and Ryan were just talking about it. We're getting ready to go up tonight. It's just like, you know, you don't realize, just going back to live music in general and doing analog things.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's why I started my whole guitar business. Was I realized, like, as much as you can know the instrument, there's something different about putting your hands on the thing that you're going to play,
Right,
making it play
right.
the way that you want it, and then even more so, making it play the way that somebody else wants it to play, that they
Right.
can't do themselves.
Right.
Like, we have gotten into a world now that I think it's super important for us to elevate the things that you can start and you can complete and you get something out of it.
Right.
Right? Like you said, you worked with your hands. You put in a full day's work, and then at the end of it, you get a product.
You get a product, or you get you get the satisfaction
Yes.
of knowing that you started and finished something.
Exactly.
You know, I spent years. I learned. I picked up a guitar and a rope at the same time.
Yep,
Right
yep.
at 15 years old, and I laid the guitar down. I regret that in some ways.
Sure.
But I love to play the guitar now. But I got into the horses and the roping
Yeah.
and the rodeo deal, and that was a lot of fun, and I had some success at it.
Yep.
And I enjoyed doing that. And I would have never met my wife without it. So that's the cool
That's
thing.
the way.
Yeah, that's the way.
But anyway, it's just there's no replacing this music deal.
Yeah.
So
No, not
And
at all.
I think we're headed into an age where human connection is going to be more important than ever.
oh yeah,
And so live music is going to be a really important part of that, I think.
oh without a doubt, because it's the connector.
Yep.
Right. So I tell everybody, and we haven't had a chance to really get to visit.
Yep.
To talk, but give me 5 minutes and we will connect the dots some way.
Absolutely.
Outside of music, more likely than not.
Sure.
More likely, it's probably going to be music because you know some of the artists that we've
Yeah.
already interviewed
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
talked about some of that. But it's funny because this whole podcast deal for us has happened really organically.
Yeah.
You know, just like, oh, you need to interview this guy. You know, this friend of ours is an artist, or my dad's a producer. You know, we got to interview Buddy Cannon, who's one of the biggest producers in Nashville because of his daughter. Because we interviewed her, and because of her, I got to interview Sammy Kershaw. I got to interview Dean Dillon. I got to interview Pam Tillis because of that connection, and it's all happened real
organic.
So anyway, guys, this has been fun. I know you guys are got to get set up. Where can they find your music?
Any streaming services: Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Arcade Sarcasm. You can follow us on Instagram at arcade.sarcasm for any of our most up-to-date updates and releases from there.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot too. Another two questions I like to ask. Two-part question. Number one, who each one of you, so be thinking about this. I'm going to start with you. Who, if you could reach out to the past, no longer living, who would you love to work with?
What a good question.
Wow.
No longer living. Man, if someone else could think of this,
I got it.
Okay,
I would for sure in this season of life, in the band that I'm in right now. I think it would be crazy to sit down with Kurt Cobain.
Wow,
that's a good answer.
Damn it, that's the one I want.
Yeah. That's always what they're gonna say.
To go back and
anywhere in time.
Yeah.
Someone who's no longer living, because I'm going to ask you the living.
Oh yeah. Right.
So be thinking.
Just go and do something with Elvis.
Oh, how cool would that be?
Another great
awesome.
answer.
No one's never ever brought Elvis. And you know what? That's you know when you go into the coffee shop and they go, what's a good name for this order, right? They don't ever ask you, what's your name? What's a good name? You know what I tell them? Elvis. Every
Great
time.
name.
Every time. Today at lunch.
You're Elvis.
Tacos.
You're
Elvis, your tacos already.
That's great.
What do you got?
I think it'd be great to take lessons from Buddy Rich.
Oh man. Yeah, that would be insane.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be amazing.
I still haven't thought of a good answer. I'm trying to think of a good one, but I don't know. I guess like there's got to be someone from the Beatles that.
Oh yeah, George Harrison.
There we go.
Yeah. George Harrison.
I mean, you can't go wrong there to
yeah.
work with any of those guys.
Yeah.
The way they recorded, and I think similar what we always talk about. Like they get into a room and try to create the magic in the room. They don't come with preconceived ideas. They write together.
They sat in the room.
Yeah.
Interesting, because we had this conversation. I love that topic, and I love the Beatles, Harrison and John Lennon, Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney, all of those guys. But the impact that they had on the music industry in such a short amount of time, and how much music they actually made.
Oh, it's
how many
crazy.
songs they wrote.
Like 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years.
Unheard of, right? Yeah. So that's a good one. Yeah. So I'm gonna. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, living.
Man, yeah, I'll go John Bellion. He's a producer at heart, and him or John Mayer. I think now the new John Mayer right now, the season of his life where he's just the producer, right, helping write some of the best songs in the world.
And they just bought that old studio in California.
I saw the whole interview.
That was like, Oliver Hardy's. What a cool deal.
Yeah, I was like, this guy. Imagine getting to sit in that room.
And he's almost our neighbor because he lives in Montana.
Yeah, exactly.
Part of the time.
That's right.
So, yeah. All right, who you got living?
John Foreman from Switchfoot.
Switchfoot. Yeah,
Switchfoot.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right,
Ryan.
He's over there looking at it. He's looking at his phone. Going, shit, who's on my playlist?
Yeah. Well, no, I would like to work with Elbow.
Yeah, that'd be a great band.
Like Guy, and I'm just trying to remember the keyboard player's name, but I would love for him to produce us.
Yeah, they're a great band. If you haven't gotten the chance to sit with them, I think you said that was Nirvana's original influence was Elbow.
No, Radiohead was
Radiohead.
asked, "What does it feel like to be the greatest band?" Or whatever.
Yeah.
He said, "I don't know. Ask Elbow."
Yeah. Great.
Really?
Band. They're out of the UK.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're just a killer band.
Okay.
Huh.
All right. So last man standing.
Cap it off here.
I think. I mean, you kind of mentioned it, but Elbow beats him. Obviously, that's an example. But Radiohead.
Yeah.
I think
Radiohead. Cool.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah. Where did the name come from?
Oh yeah, it was an easy question. I was texting somebody,
digital age,
and I meant to put in sarcasm, and it autocorrected to arcade, and so I sent it, and then underneath I put sarcasm, and then I was like, oh, that would be a great name. So if you look at the name, the ARCA, And then halfway through Sarcasm, you take the S away, it's Arca as well.
Okay.
So it's you
spelling
can thank the
correct.
digital age. Yeah, for that
Yeah, I
one.
think
Major
Siri
faux pas
for that
that turned
one.
into a name of a band, which is cool. There usually is a good story behind that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway, well, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you, Byron. It was a
This has
pleasure.
been cool.
Keep doing this. I mean, it's
please.
awesome. This is a great
This is
opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, with Arcade Sarcasm, we're here at Tree Fort in Boise, Idaho, and we will see you somewhere down the road. Adios for now.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Byron. That was
This episode is sponsored by Close. With over 10 years of experience crafting hand-built composite instruments, Close provides the widest selection of premium carbon fiber instruments in the world, from acoustics to ukuleles, electrics and basses, even mandolins. When picking an instrument, Close doesn't want you to have to make a choice between performance and portability. These instruments stay in tune and intact, whether you're hopping venues or cresting mountains. Every Close instrument is plecked, which means you'll get low action and buttery smooth playability each time you pick up your instrument. Check out Close to find instruments you'll not only take with you, but ones you won't want to leave behind.